Come into the kitchen with me. We'll cook up something yummy, savory, spicy, or sweet, to satisfy your tummy each and every week. It's Wednesday, and that means it's time for In the Kitchen with Miss Paula Harmonica Mama, and it's gonna be yummy. Hello, and welcome to this week's edition of In the Kitchen with Miss Paula Harmonica Mama. And today, I'm going to make white chocolate cake, and that is a recipe from the family recipe book. Now, the interesting thing about it is, or the thing I think is cool about it, is when I was 14, my mom talked me into entering a recipe competition with the Danville Commercial News in Danville, Illinois. And she has been in the past, a frequent recipe competition winner. And actually, I made a video, the Netherland Plaza salad, probably a year or so ago, and I'll put a link to it. Anyway, she won first place with that one. Well, she told me, I'm going to do the red velvet cake. You do the white chocolate cake because, I got to keep my first place status going. Well, guess what? I won first place. And I'll give you a closer look up, a close-up of this later. Take a picture of it or something. So we're going to go ahead and get started. So the first thing I need to do is cream my butter and sugar. And I see, even though I thought I had everything all laid out here, I did not measure out my sugar, and I put my sugar away. So we'll take a little break. Go get my sugar. I actually forgot to measure it out, and then I had it sitting over on the counter with the ingredients to make the icing because I need sugar for it too. All right, so the first thing we need to do is, let me get this butter open, is we need to put in a pound of butter, which is 2 sticks. And I have it nice and soft, as you can see, because my hands are getting all yucky. All right. So we're going to put 2 cups of sugar in here. 2 cups of sugar. All righty. Now, I am going to cream these. There we go. Let me lock it. And I'm going to go put my sugar back over here. It's going fairly well here. You can hear it, right? I'm going to turn it up slowly. Actually, this takes a little while, so I think what I want to do is I'm going to pause you all for a little bit. We'll pause here, and then when this gets all good and creamed, this just about ready over here. And we're going to take a closer look at it, I do believe. It is just about ready to go. And I'm going to go ahead and turn it off. And what we're going to do now is we're going to melt this white chocolate in the microwave. So in the microwave we go for 30 seconds. And we'll pause and see how that goes. And we can see that it has just barely started to melt. So let's put it in for another 30 seconds. We'll see. I took it to our Easter dinner, and it was a hit there. And actually, I did that one as a practice run to see if I could still make this cake. Because actually, until I made it for Easter, I've only made it a few times since I was in high school. But it has now become a family favorite. Okay, maybe 10 more seconds. And I need a hot pan. Maybe not even that. But there we go. And oh, I tell you what, it smells delightful. Okay. So here you go. That's how it's nice and runny, and it looks great. There we go. Nice and smooth, and it smells wonderful. So why don't we're just going to go ahead and stick this in the mixing bowl. Okay. Scrape her a little bit more. And mix her up a little bit more. Alrighty. Okay, I think that is going to do it. I'm going to do this one more time. Okay. Okie dokie. So, let me get that scraped off just a little bit more. I'm gonna, whoa! I didn't want to put it on quite that fast. Okay. Then we're gonna take it. Okay, we're gonna add eggs next. But before we go any further, I wanted to say something about Mother's Day. My daughter, excuse me, made these hot pats for me, and I'm thrilled with them. I just love that girl to death. So happy Mother's Day, late Elizabeth, and whoops, thank you very much. And then I got a new apron too. I love aprons, and Bernie got me this one from Bob Evans. When Elizabeth and I had lunch the other day, we saw them at the Bob Evans we went to, and then when I went to the one here in New Boston, and I saw they had the same one. I said, "Oh, Elizabeth and I really like that." She said she was gonna, when she got paid, she was gonna get herself one, and he bought me one that day, which was the day before Mother's Day. So that was cool. All right. So with the eggs, what we're gonna want to do, add 4 eggs, but we're gonna add one at a time and mix in between. So why don't I get this up again? Here we go. I just said to myself, Self, you have one of those little plastic things, so why don't you use it? I'm like, I don't know. So we'll try this. There is egg number 2. And we'll take this off, and I'm going to push this up. Oh, I took my spatula away. Oh, look how nice and creamy that's looking. Okay, while we're open here, let's add egg number 3. And egg number 4. And I had to double check, make sure my camera was on again. Just see how fluffy that is on the spatula there. All right, now we're going to add the dry ingredients. All right, so what we're going to need to do here is we're going to sift. We have 2.5 cups, I believe it is. Yes, 2.5 cups of cake flour. And it is a little bit lighter than all-purpose flour. And I will insert like a little recipe in the description about if you don't have cake flour, how you can make cake flour. All right, so we'll put that in there. Okay. So I have that in there, and to that I am going to add a teaspoon of baking powder. Let me find my trusty teaspoon. Whoops, there we go. There it is. Let's look at the lid. Okay, so we're going to sift this together. And I kind of like to go both ways. Want to do that, it pats the flour down a little bit. All right, so that is ready to go. All right.
What can I help you with?
Nothing right now, Alexa.
Sounds good. I'll be here whenever you need me.
All righty, thank you. Okay, so I'm going to add this, and I'm also going to add the buttermilk. And we need a cup of buttermilk. Sounds like it's going to rain out there a little bit. Okay. Okay, so now we are going to, as I was going to say before I have a little accident, we're going to add some flour, which we already did, and now we're going to add some buttermilk. And I'm going to stop it. And we are going to scrape the pan down a little bit. I think that's going to be all right. Okay, so there's our little bit more flour. And a little bit more buttermilk. I think I'm just going to go ahead and add the rest of this flour. And the rest of the buttermilk. We'll set this over here in the sink right now. And I'll get those dishes in a minute. Alrighty, like while the oven's in the cake's in the oven. Woo! Okay, then we need to scrape her down again really good. We'll get her kind of stirred up there just a little bit more. So now we are going to add to this, look already, we're going to add a teaspoon of vanilla. I love the way the vanilla smells. A cup of coconut. And a cup of chocolate pecans. I'm glad I double checked because when I was chopping up the pecans to put in here, my brain said 2 cups. So I chopped up 2 cups of pecans. And I have a little like a little mini food processor that I use to chop these up. I could have bought them for like a 2-cup bag for like $14, $13.50, something like that. And these were, the halves were on sale for $7. So I said I could chop my own pecans. Okay, back down we go. Oh yeah, and that is all that it is going to take for this. Hi, Ollie. Where you been? They've been snoozing on the couch. Okay, let's get some of our stuff out of the way here. Anyway, and I tell you, one of the reasons I'm making this cake is to make this video, but I felt like I had to have an excuse to make a cake because, well, like I said before, we're trying to lose weight. So we don't need a whole cake sitting around. So I am going to a ladies' meeting, church meeting tomorrow. That's kind of really heavy feeling cake there. And and it's a luncheon, potluck luncheon. So I'm taking this to the luncheon. And then I have these pans. I sprayed the like baker spray in them, so it's like flouring and freezing them. And they're going to be in the oven at 350 about 35 minutes, 35 to 40 minutes. It wasn't quite 45. Actually, these pans are not the same size. So, the smaller one, last time I made this, got done a little bit sooner than the larger one. So we'll get those nice and patted down here. As far as I know, nobody in our group has a nut allergy. There's one of them that just doesn't care for nuts. I'm taking it regardless. We are going to stick these lovely cake pans in the oven. The oven is at 350. And like I said, 30 to 45 minutes, and we'll just see how it goes. But to start out with, we'll say, Alexa, please set a 30-minute timer.
30-minute timer started.
Thank you, Alexa.
You're welcome.
Okay, timer went off a couple times, and neither time were they ready. So let's check it now. Looks good. From here, yeah, that one's done. The toothpick is nice and clean. Now this one's not quite as clean, so I'm going to leave this one in a little bit longer. Alexa, set a 3-minute timer, please.
3 minutes.
Okay, so I'm going to take the cake that I took out of the oven and I'm going to set it over here on a rack to cool for a few minutes. And we'll be right back. Okay, we're going to try it again. Because Alexa went ding, 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 ding. Nope, it still has a little bit longer to go. Alexa, let's try, Alexa, set a 3-minute timer, please.
3-minute timer.
Okay, let's see if we got her done this time. Yes, we did. Okie dokie. Well, let's get this one out of the oven and get the oven brushed out. And she turned off. But here we go. We've got our second layer here. Oh, we're just gonna, here, that's okay. We're just gonna let it cool. That one's actually just about ready to maybe take out. Need a little plate to put it on. I'm gonna try this. Okay, hit again. And I'll just let it cool there. I'll give that one a couple more minutes. Okie dokie. So now we have the second cake out. And it's nice and cool. Or I mean, I got it out of the pan. So we will just let these cool. Actually, I have to move them somewhere else because the dogs won't get into them this close to the floor. But we will let these cool, and when they get cool, we will make the icing. Well, white chocolate part 1 is a wrap, and I will see you soon with part 2.